All right, guys. Today we are going to be reacting to Delusional Girl thinks she doesn't need men to survive. Let's jump in, guys.
And you agree. Okay. And then you mentioned that women, they keep their houses in good shape, right?
Yeah.
But what happens in this scenario when within 72 hours, there's no electricity, there's no food, the water stops working, there's fires that break out, and you don't have male firefighters to put these fires out. So let's assume like a woman loses her residence. What then?
Women know how to collect food. I mean, back when we were hunter-gatherers, the gatherers, being women, would
You think the
provide
average urban woman knows how to collect food in the forest?
Yeah, that's what women used to do.
They used to do, but that was like taught. It's not like you can't just drop somebody who's lived in civilization their entire life into the forest. Like, do you think an
Well,
average?
then that would go for both men and women.
Yeah, I don't think the average man could do
Well,
that.
no, because
What
even
about
then there's a
See, you
strength
see how they do this?
discrepancy.
What about the men, though? Argument. She was about to do that argument.
So you take like
Or to say that
a
already.
man who's grown up in an urban environment and a woman who's grown up in an urban environment. They both have like very little knowledge, just on the basis that men have more strength, generally speaking. The man's already in an advantage.
In what way? Like, what is that strength going to do for him?
You don't think early human beings relied on like strength and labor to move? Like, okay, I want to chop down a tree. I need to chop up this firewood. I need to move these materials to this position.
I think women could work as a team, like community.
Well, in this scenario, I'm thinking like one-on-one, but even then, 2 women don't possess the same strength as 2 men. Or 3 women don't possess the same strength as 3 men.
Right, but I don't think you need to have like some incredible degree of strength. I think that as long as you have a community, you have a tribe, you'd be fine.
There
It
we
doesn't
go.
really
This is
matter
BLM's
what
talking
level.
point. This is Marxism right here. It's the BLM talking point right here, guys. I remember when BLM released their website, they were literally saying that they don't need men or the nuclear family, that the villagers and community can raise a child, so they don't need a man. She's saying those talking points. This is the straight up Marxism theory right here.
Level of strength there is. I think women have enough strength to survive on their own.
What was the
Well,
question?
would you be interested in a real social experiment then? Let's say you get 12 of your girlfriends who have even survival skills. Let's say they have survival
I
skills.
don't even think I have 12.
We'll collect 12 men who have survival skills, or we can collect 12 who don't and 12 women, and then give them just a knife apiece and send them off into the wilderness.
I mean, they already do this. Do you watch Naked and Afraid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they all
did.
How
have.
did the women do?
They actually did do this. So in the,
How did the women do?
Women survive just fine. by
Oh
themselves.
no, they went over to the men during the exact same social experiment I'm talking about, which didn't include 12-year-olds, okay, when they were fully grown adults. And here's what happened.
They
The
did this
women
in a
were
Mr.
crying,
Beast video.
they were freezing, and they went over and begged the men to help them. And the men finally did. And I see no reason why that would not be the case. And by the way, these were all ages of men, all ages of women. And they failed miserably. Like,
I mean,
miserably.
I've seen episodes where the women have hunted and caught
Oh
like
my God,
large kills, and I mean, and the women, they do
Oh,
get
sure.
multiple seasons.
I'm not disputing that women can't do in groups and teams. I mean, women are not stupid. I'm sure that they can hunt but it's the degree to which you're effective at the thing that matters. So when Brian says strength, I don't even think that you realize what he's saying. When you're talking about all the labor jobs, which keeps
You know what's crazy? They can all carry that timber by themselves, I guess. They really think that if they have to build a house, they can. You have to. Naked or Afraid. She mentioned Naked or Afraid. I used to watch a lot of Naked or Afraid, and I can guarantee you guys, females, you watch these episodes, and females, they want to start stuff right away. Like, think about this. If the men decided from day one to say, you know what, you're gonna do this alone, and that's it. Majority of these females will just not simply survive. The majority of them. because they just want to take control of the situation without then having the authority to take control of the situation. Lady, you don't have strength. If there was no camera, nobody, you start acting like that, that guy would probably grab a piece of stick and delete you right there and there. They already tried this in Britain, and the females almost got deleted. It was very sad to see. And they didn't have the, even when it come down to directions and stuff like that, they were all off. It one thing to just always survive with the man, right? Because you can always rely on the man. But when you're with females, no direction, you want to have meetings, vote for stuff, man, you're done. And they almost died because they always knew that the production team was always gonna save them. And that's why they almost got deleted.
Society going, that requires a great degree of physical strength, and physical strength is multiplied by multiple men. Oh, you don't think so? You think it's just done by machines? The nice thing about
most of it
machines
is,
that
yeah.
machines take a great amount of physical strength to use. You have a gal here who said she was in maintenance, yeah? She'll tell you, if you want to pick up a 400-pound machine motor, it's really heavy, just so you know. It's not an easy feat. So I don't know where you get the idea that raw strength is not still the staple of human labor, because it still is. We have labor-saving devices, but strength is still very much key in labor.
Sure, but
Also, just
they
you
need
do
to equalize
acknowledge
insane.
that there's discrepancies in terms of representation when it comes to critical infrastructure jobs, right?
sure, yeah.
So, like, for example, like water, I've got a list here: water, sewage, electricity, gas, fuel refinement, garbage collection, telecommunications, IT infrastructure, road maintenance, truck and delivery drivers, police, fire rescue. These are predominated by men. Do you agree with this?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just factually true. So if all men disappear instantly, there's not enough women in these fields to essentially, there's not enough women in the fields where if they just disappeared immediately, it would just be complete, it would be a complete catastrophe. And I mean, you'd have electricity gone within 72 hours, telecommunications gone within 72 hours. Women are not in those fields when like there's
she wanna negate it. She want to negate her need to be right so strong that she just don't, even if it is true, she doesn't care.
Snowstorm or a hurricane and the power's out and it's below freezing in Bozeman, Montana, and they got to fix the power lines or they got to fix something. They got to check the grid at 1 a.m. and it's snowing and hailing outside. Is it a woman who goes or it's a man? It's always a man.
Okay, so what happened during World War II when men had to go to war and women had to take over the jobs?
Women had, first
Did
of all,
we
not
lose
all
electricity?
women, not all men went to World War II.
Right.
Women stepped up to some degree, but they also had plenty of time to prepare for it. In the scenario I provided, men disappeared instantly. Mm-hmm. So in that scenario, women would not be able to like, oh, okay, we're just going to take over the water, the sewage, the telecoms. There wouldn't be enough women who have the knowledge base or even necessarily the physical capacity to even do some of these jobs, even if they did have the knowledge base.
I think they would. I mean, we still have the internet. Women are dominating education.
The internet would be down within 72 hours.
Why?
Oh my God.
Do you realize how often like there needs to be maintenance?
Because you seeing the internet runs on electricity, and if there's no more electrical workers,
there's no female electricians.
The vast overwhelming amount of them are men. I'm talking vast. I think it's like 98%. In fact, I think 100% of linemen. Last I checked, linemen. Those are the people who put up your power poles. I think they're all men.
Right.
It was
maybe
like decimal point. That wasn't men.
Right. Maybe you're right. Maybe it would go out. There wouldn't be enough women to sustain. But I think over time women would evolve and we would get it.
Wow, this is when you know that your education system is rotten to the core. She really think that her mind is of the mind of, these things, because there's one female that might do this. somehow this is gonna just replicate to the entire country, and then all of a sudden we're gonna have electricity like this. Understanding how the infrastructure works. I mean, you need energy, you need oil, you need a lot of things. You need people with strength to just go and just climb those power lines. And not even this one, not the local ones. I'm talking about the big ones that you have to climb in the mountains. Like, it probably, it's just it's the level of ego and pride of this lady is over the roof. She might have so much ego, she cannot allow simple logic to go through her brain, guys.
Well, you have one generation, because without men, you're basically going to go extinct, and unless, of course, you decide that you're going to use frozen male sperm and then only keep the women, but you're going to run out eventually. So then I guess you would have to have men, so that men could then re-inseminate you at some point. And then the second you have men to do that, you have the problem of they're really fucking strong and may decide that you get to go in the cages. So I don't really know. I don't really know like how this is a debate. Even feasible from the female standpoint. If all men disappeared tomorrow, it seems to me like this would be dire and catastrophic for women. Not exactly sure how it would be for men.
We don't need it anyway. The stuff you're talking about.
Right. I mean, we've survived as societies without electricity.
You do you do
Yo, that was insane. That was insane.
Your body was conditioned for this. So you're talking about conditions. So if you live in a world, like if you go to the third world, for instance, have you ever seen what's called the third world squat? That now, if you just took that normal squat sitting position that almost everybody sits in the third world all day long, your calves would be killing you within about 20 minutes, and you'd have to get back up because most people don't sit like this, right? We sit on chairs, which is actually bad for our back. They're actually conditioned for this movement because they were raised in an environment for the movement. The soles of their feet are conditioned to not have shoes. They were raised in an environment for that. Everything about them is conditioned for the environment that they're in. That is not the case anymore. You're not conditioned to go out in the forest and find fucking berries, okay? Modern women are not conditioned to do that.
Neither are modern men. Modern men.
What about the
modern men? Keep that up. Modern men keep up forestry. Modern men keep up physical conditioning for outdoor jobs and outdoor work and outdoor foraging and hunting and things like that. Women do not.
And there are women who do these jobs too.
Very few.
So I live in Bozeman, Montana, and I can tell you that if men disappeared, some people will say, we don't need these amenities to survive. There's a large surplus of the population that lives in a climate where if these things disappear, millions and millions of people would just die. So, like Brian said, if they had time to prepare, if females have time to prepare, they can obviously make that happen. But I think to say that if men just disappeared,
they would never make it happen. They would not even have time, guys. Because then we're not even talking the knowledge. Let's say then in 3 years, in 5 years, they get the knowledge and they manage to just do it. You have to now build the strength. By that time, they're already gone. At that time, they're already gone. Probably half of the population already gone. Oh, I would say 3/4 of the population already gone. At that point, everybody just go. At that point, everybody's living in the mountains. It can get very bad. It can get very bad. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you next one.